Hello and welcome to IFL's Crafternoon on Facebook. Today I'm going to show you how to make a fall wreath to hang on your front door. All of the supplies came from the Dollar Tree. So I have a gold platter that I'm going to use as my base, and then I have some hemp rope. This is a thicker rope, and then just some leaves and a cute little wooden cutout that says Hello Autumn. I'm also going to need a glue gun and some paint. Let's get started. I'm going to start by painting my Hello Autumn wooden letters, and I've picked a bright yellow because I think that's going to show up really nicely on my rope, but if you have a gold paint you may want to use that if it matches your plate, and I just did a couple coats to make sure it was nice and bright. Now the platter I'm using has an indent, so I'm actually only going to be filling that section with the coiled rope. So I'm going to start by putting a fairly large glob of hot glue in the middle of my platter, and then I'm going to take my rope and put the end in there and then start coiling around the end of the rope, and I want to make sure that the end is tucked in nice and tight so that it doesn't come out. So I'm just going to push that down in there and then secure that very tightly. Next, I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to run a bead of hot glue around the outside and press the rope down. I'm going to continue this process, coiling the rope around itself using hot glue to hold it in place until the entire section of my plate that I want to cover is covered. Now, if you have a different type of plate that doesn't have that nice dip in it, you may want to go the whole way to the outside of your plate, and that's fine. You can decide how much rope you want to use in the center of yours, or if you want to go to the whole way to the edge. As you can see, one section of rope is not quite enough for my plate, so what I'm going to do is take a second section of rope and I'm just going to put a dab of hot glue on the end of the rope and attach that to the end of the other rope, and then just keep hot gluing that around. You'll be able to cover that if it really stands out. Mine doesn't stand out when I'm done, so you're just going to continue with that second piece of rope until the inside of your platter is completely covered with the rope coils. As you can see, I'm coming up to the end here, so I'm just going to be tucking that into the center of my platter, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut my rope at an angle so that the outside is a little bit longer than the inside, so that it just tucks in there nice and tightly. And again, just finishing it off with some hot glue and pressing it in so that it doesn't come out. And now it is time to decorate. So I'm going to take my wooden letters that say Hello Autumn, and I'm going to just place them where I want them, and I'm actually going to turn my plate so that the end of my rope is going to be hidden by the leaves I'm going to put on there. I'm just going to place these on just to get an idea of how many I want, and then I'll just use my hot glue gun to glue everything into place. And this is where you can get creative and use whatever kind of embellishments that you want. I just happen to have these leaves already at home, and my pack of wooden words actually came as a 6-pack from the Dollar Tree, and so I chose Hello Autumn. There were several that were Welcome Fall, Hello Fall, lots of different choices, but I liked the Hello Autumn one, so I'm just going to glue that on and then glue my leaves on. Going to take a piece of the rope that was left over, and I'm going to make it maybe 15-20 inches long, and this is what I'm going to use to create a hanger. So I'm just going to flip my plate over, and you want to make sure that you have the top of your plate centered at the top, and just a big dab of hot glue. Press one end of your rope into it, and then you're going to repeat that with the other end of your rope, and I'm just putting them a little bit away from each other so that my plate will hang nice and centered. You're going to want to let that hot glue dry for just a little bit before you turn your plate back over, because you don't want it to stick to your table. And now you have a fun new decoration to hang on your front door. Stay safe and see you next week on IFL's Crafternoon on Facebook.